USS Atlanta CL-51 was no ordinary cruiser. Launched on September 6, 1941, from the Federal Shipbuilding and Dry Dock Company in Kearney, New Jersey, and commissioned into the United States Navy on December 24, 1941, she was a warship built for a time of crisis. Just 17 days after the attack on Pearl Harbor, this light cruiser entered service, ready to take on the might of the Japanese Imperial Navy in the Pacific. A warship built for defense. Designed as an anti-aircraft cruiser, the USS Atlanta was the first of its class, a sleek, fast, and heavily armed vessel built to protect American aircraft carriers from air attacks. She was 541 feet long, 165 meters, and displaced 6,718 tons. Despite being classified as a light cruiser, she carried an impressive array of 16 5-inch, 127mm dual-purpose guns, making her a deadly adversary against aircraft and surface vessels alike. Her speed? 33.6 knots, 62.2 kilometers per hour, 38.7 miles per hour. Fast enough to keep up with the U.S. fleet's powerful carriers. Her commander, Captain Samuel P. Jenkins, a battle-hardened officer who led the ship through some of the fiercest naval engagements in World War II. The Voyage of War, 1942. After her shakedown cruise and training in the Caribbean and North Atlantic, USS Atlanta steamed toward the Pacific War Zone. By August 1942, she arrived in the hotly contested waters of the South Pacific, taking part in one of the most crucial and bloodiest campaigns of the war, the Battle for Guadalcanal. The battles of USS Atlanta between August and November 1942, USS Atlanta fought in multiple engagements across the Solomon Islands. Battle of the Eastern Solomons, August 24th to 25th, 1942. Her first taste of combat came in this carrier battle, where she defended the USS Enterprise, CV-6, from relentless Japanese air attacks. The Japanese fleet suffered heavy losses, losing the light carrier Ryujo and several aircraft. USS Atlanta performed exceptionally well, downing multiple enemy aircraft. Battle of the Santa Cruz Islands, October 25th to 27th, 1942. Once again, Atlanta played a critical escort role, protecting the carriers USS Hornet, CV-8, and USS Enterprise. Despite American efforts, Hornet was lost, but the USS Atlanta survived, continuing her mission. Naval Battle of Guadalcanal, November 12th to 13th, 1942. Her final stand. This was her most intense battle and her last. On the night of November 12th, 1942, USS Atlanta was part of a task force of 13 U.S. warships, including the heavy cruiser USS San Francisco, destroyers, and battleships. The U.S. fleet was ambushed by a powerful Japanese force, including the battleship Hiei, several cruisers, and 14 destroyers. A chaotic and brutal night battle unfolded. Shells and torpedoes crisscrossed the waters near Iron Bottom Sound. The tragic fate of the USS Atlanta. At approximately 1:30 a.m. on November 13, 1942, USS Atlanta was struck by multiple Japanese shells and torpedoes. Worse still, in the confusion of the battle, she was accidentally hit by friendly fire from USS San Francisco, inflicting severe damage. Despite the devastation, her crew fought valiantly to keep her afloat. Over 172 sailors were killed, including her executive officer, and more than 200 were wounded. By the next morning, Captain Jenkins and his officers knew the ship was beyond saving. The decision was made to scuttle her, and on November 13, 1942, the heroic USS Atlanta slipped beneath the waves, resting near the shores of Guadalcanal. A legacy of valor. Her sacrifice was not in vain. The U.S. Navy won the battle, sinking the Japanese battleship Hiei and several destroyers, crippling the enemy's ability to reinforce Guadalcanal. This victory turned the tide of the war in the Pacific, solidifying American control over the island. For her service, USS Atlanta was posthumously awarded the Presidential Unit Citation and earned 5 battle stars. Interesting facts about USS Atlanta, CL-51. She was the first ship to bear the name Atlanta in World War II. Her wreckage still lies beneath Iron Bottom Sound, a resting place for many ships that fought in the Pacific War. The USS Atlanta-class cruisers inspired future designs of anti-aircraft warships used in the Cold War. Despite her short service, less than a year, she played a pivotal role in multiple key battles. The second USS Atlanta, CL-104, was commissioned in 1944 as a tribute to her namesake. The USS Atlanta, CL-51, may have been lost in battle, but her spirit and sacrifice live on. She was more than just a warship. She was a guardian of the fleet, a symbol of resilience, and a vital player in America's victory in the Pacific. Let the story of USS Atlanta be remembered as a testament to bravery, sacrifice, and the unbreakable will of the U.S. Navy in World War II.